Hello, friends. This topic is very curious. This hypothesis would explain the strange calm of the president, as if he were controlling the situation despite the thunder that threatens storm. The photo of the video belonged to the signing of the law of the National Quantum Initiative. Opinion article. Would Trump own a quantum PC? He appears to be in a war game. This would give him a quantum advantage. Does he play fifth-dimensional chess? He would check each decision with his computer. The president has several options yet. Could he see the future 6 months in advance? 28 large banks test quantum computing. There are quantum algorithms for financial operations. They use Monte Carlo simulation to measure risk. And Albers talks about bad scientists from another dimension. Let's start. In quotes, Trump is playing a war game right now, and every tweet, every action, every speech, and every court case is running through a quantum computer. He already knows the result before he does, because quantum computers can create computer simulations for up to 6 months in advance. Beyond that, it becomes unstable, because people are unpredictable. Close quotes. This is the statement of an author with the pseudonym of Capable Patriot, Patriota Capaz, in an article entitled Trump Has a Quantum Computer, that has been published on the website of Godlike Productions, whose link I put on my blog and below the summaries that are in the comment box. On December 21st, 2019, the President signed the law of the National Quantum Initiative. The bipartisan legislation establishes a coordinated multi-agency program to support research and training in quantum information science. The initiative encompasses the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the Department of Energy, and the National Science Foundation, and involves the creation of between 4 and 10 research centers awarded by competition. What is a Monte Carlo? A Monte Carlo simulation is used in finance and other industries to measure risk and uncertainty in forecasting models. Simulation provides a view of or representation of many of all possible outcomes and helps users assess the relative risk of a decision. Quantum finance. Furthermore, according to IBM, financial institutions are exploring quantum computing to dramatically speed up immensely complicated calculations, as well as improve their accuracy. The positive opportunity is huge. The 28th largest bank in the world manage more than 54 trillion together. Billion, I mean. The US equity and bond markets alone are capitalized at more than 70 billion. In markets of this size, the creation of new algorithms for optimizing portfolios, listing derivatives, analyzing risks, or calculating more precise default probabilities can have a massive and pervasive impact on the long-term success of global financial institutions and their clients. Today's financial services environment embodies the survival of the fittest philosophy. Institutions strive for small competitive advantages using the best available technologies. At the same time, some are already exploring next-generation quantum computing to dramatically reduce the time required for immensely complicated calculations and significantly improve the precision. Quantum computing, a hot research area in technology research labs around the world, is a few years away from having a major impact on the financial services industry. However, they are compelling reasons to start evaluating the role and potential of quantum technology for every business now, An easy way to get started is to join to an emerging quantum financial services ecosystem. Various quantum algorithms for financial applications are currently being developed and tested, and while more research is required to successfully run these applications at the required scale and in real-life environments on emerging quantum machines, it's important to begin to identify which high-value problems could benefit from quantum algorithms in the future. Financial services companies face several types of challenges that quantum computing can address. These challenges include classifying and selecting assets, customers, and suppliers for risk of non-compliance, as well as detecting fraud, money laundering, or other criminal activity by finding complex variable relationships. A series of complex and often concurrent multidisciplinary tasks is required to solve such challenges. Quantum computers with greater speed and precision could provide new capabilities in these areas. Data protection. Data and communications protection is often the first priority for companies managing businesses, personnel, and government finances. Still, the average financial institution experienced 65% more cyber attacks than other organizations in 2016, because quantum computing improves capacity malicious actors can gain access to it sooner or later. So quantum computing poses risks of security as well as powerful new defenses to guard against future attacks. Quantum key distribution can help protect communication channels from traditional channels and quantum threats. By exploiting quantum principles, you can provide the current and future secret of encryption keys and help prevent eavesdropping by unauthorized parties. Organizations must act now to adopt cryptographic techniques that can protect data from classical and quantum computer. For example, some types of network-based cryptography that appear to be resistant to quantum computing attacks are being explored. Until now, the algorithms that can break these data encryption methods are unknown, fortunately, which can help protect against new threats today and in the future. Upgrade of the situation. According to Mike Adams' December 26 status update, in addition to the disqualification option, the insurrection law or the Insurrection Act and military re-election options, the president would have the militia option to save the republic. But to my judgment, this option would be very dangerous because it could provoke a civil war. Defense Department official Andrew Knox sets out a spectrum of actions the president could invoke, from the least controversial, such as the courts, to the more controversial, such as military martial law. Furthermore, the president could directly appoint a special prosecutor himself and wouldn't need the Attorney General to do so. Militias are specifically mentioned as guardians of the constitutional republic in both the Second Amendment and the Insurrection Act. Most modern militia groups are made up of military veterans, former law enforcement officers, concealed carriers, and other law-abiding citizens who are passionate about freedom and defending the homeland against enemies, both foreign and domestic. On the other hand, it is speculated that disloyal generals could be plotting a physical blow against the president to force him out of the White House. In such a case, an extra military protection of the president's palace would be necessary to guarantee their safety. Regarding the Nashville explosion, it's speculated that it could have been a pilot test to find out how easily the telecommunication infrastructure can be eliminated with conventional explosives. According to Mike Adams, the Nashville explosion would have actually been a missile attack, and the target would be the spy center of the ATT NSA hardened switching facility in order to destroy the sensitive electronic devices at said facility. But scientists, I have always intuited that in addition to scientific explanations, valid all of them, this health crisis would also have supernatural elements like everything that happens in the world. In the same way that there would be benevolent civilizations that want to help humankind, there would also be regressive civilizations that do not want just the greatest good for all of us. That is why there is a talk of a negative nanotechnology and a positive one that would try to nullify the effects of the first. The message of Anne Albers and the Angels goes even further when she says that bad scientists from another dimension intervened and that this fear was a thought form introduced by a group of scientific beings from another dimension in the hope that they could generate enough energy to support themselves. She explains that long ago these negative beings lost their experience of love and connection to the source. Nothing, of course, can be disconnected from source. But when an individual or a race of beings stops feeling emotion and stops loving, the connection to source cannot be felt. They became parasites capable of living only on the energy of others. And so this way of thinking was introduced into certain minds of our planet who were seeking to understand such things and who had no idea what they were playing with. As fear spread, the thought form became a thing and infected both the mind and the body. Our planet became obsessed with death, but in reaction, a light began to shine brightly within you as you became obsessed with coming back to life as well. Separation. In their separation, they yearned for connection. They no longer took relationships, groceries, delivery men, employees, or even their own breath for granted. They sent signals to the heavens that their hearts really wanted to be together. And then everything that separates you started to surface, because when you send out a cry for light, it can't help but shine on the dark. Racial divisions became too obvious to be swept under the rug, and millions more sent out a cry for appreciation of diversity, a cry that has been heard and answered, and that has initiated movement in human hearts that will create changes in the lives of people. Next decades, most of you will live to see a world where differences are celebrated. You will see a world for decades to come that harnesses the forces of nature to create clean energy, that has cleaned up previously created clutter, and that has come together to value the planet you live on. You will see cities with much more greenery inside and between buildings. You will see people coming together to create community parks, gardens, and neighbors who help neighbors. The world will become your neighborhood. Your world is changing for the better, although you can only see the seeds of change. Believe in these seeds, dear ones. Believe that they will grow. Believe in the better world to come. We see it in your future. So, as you move into 2021, know that the seeds are still germinating underground in the cells and in the souls of our planet. Tillage of the soil is still in progress. The birth of her world is still in stages of contractions. There will be great and sometimes vehement disagreements about what constitutes freedom. There will be clashes between people who believe that their solution to the world's problem is better than the others. Through all of this, dear ones, you will begin to realize as a human species that each of you has an inner compass that guides you like the Christmas star, to the Christ within, to the Christ within. There is no single solution to any problem. There is only one suitable for you. Thanks a lot, friends, and Merry Christmas.